On October 19, 2017, humanity spotted its first confirmed interstellar visitor streaking through our solar system. It was already speeding away from the Sun when astronomer Robert Warwick discovered it in the telescope data. This was no ordinary asteroid or comet. It came from beyond our solar system, from the void between stars. They named it Oumuamua, a Hawaiian word meaning a messenger from afar arriving first. But the name would soon prove disturbingly prophetic, because this messenger refused to behave like a dumb rock. The first dopamine spike came from its shape. Nothing in our solar system looks like a flattened cigar spinning on its short axis. It varied in brightness by a factor of 10 every few hours, suggesting an object at least 5 to 10 times longer than it was wide. No known asteroid or comet in our own system has a natural shape like that, yet here it was visiting from the great unknown. But the shape was only the beginning of the weirdness. Spectroscopic analysis revealed it was dark, reddish, and bone-dry. Comets are dirty snowballs, but Oumuamua had no coma, no tail, and no detectable water ice. It looked like an asteroid but moved like a comet under the influence of some extra invisible force. As it flew away from the Sun, something accelerated it. This is the second dopamine spike, the non-gravitational acceleration. Avi Loeb, chair of Harvard's astronomy department, looked at the data and proposed a shocking hypothesis. He suggested Oumuamua might be a light sail, a thin, artificial membrane propelled by radiation pressure from the Sun. This wasn't a wild guess, it perfectly fit the data where comet outgassing failed. For a light sail to work, the object needed to be less than a millimeter thick, a geometry our telescopes couldn't resolve. The official counterargument was swift. It was a frozen chunk of nitrogen, a shard from a Pluto-like exoplanet. This nitrogen iceberg theory claimed the outgassing was invisible and the shape was a natural consequence of erosion. But there was a catastrophic flaw in the nitrogen iceberg model. To produce a single Oumuamua, you would need more mass in exoplutos than all the stars in the galaxy combined. The math simply didn't work. The required density of these objects in interstellar space was physically impossible. Then came the third dopamine spike, the sheer statistical improbability of the encounter. We detected it only because our survey telescopes had just become sensitive enough to see objects of this size. The implication is staggering. If we just saw one, there must be countless millions of these objects passing through unseen. This brings us to the most unsettling question. If it was an alien probe, why was it tumbling? A controlled light sail should be stable, not cartwheeling through the cosmos. Perhaps it was a dead probe, a piece of alien space junk that had lost its attitude control millions of years ago. Or perhaps the tumbling was the point, a scanning rotation designed to map the entire sky with a single sensor. If you want to build a cheap reconnaissance probe, you don't stabilize it, you let it spin and scan. The object was also accelerating away at a velocity consistent with a slingshot maneuver around our Sun. It dove deep into the inner solar system, passing closer to the Sun than Mercury, an ideal trajectory for a close look at Earth. Despite passing within 24 million kilometers of our planet, it remained completely silent in all radio frequencies. The Breakthrough Listen project scanned for artificial signals and heard nothing but the cosmic microwave background. A truly advanced machine, however, might not leak radio waves, it might use tight beam communication or quantum entanglement. The silence doesn't prove it was a rock, it only proves it wasn't shouting in a language we could hear. Consider the alternative. The object was a completely natural, never-before-seen fractal aggregate of dust and ice. A group of scientists proposed it was a cosmic dust bunny, so porous that sunlight could push it like a sail. This model required a density 100 times less than air, a material fluffier than the lightest snowflake. Could such a fragile structure survive a million-year journey through interstellar space without being shredded by radiation? The odds of a dust bunny surviving the ejection from its home system are astronomically lower than the artificial probe theory. Here is a pattern interrupt. Oumuamua was not the first interstellar object, just the first we confirmed. In 2014, a meteor burned up over Papua New Guinea, and its velocity confirmed it was interstellar in origin. Avi Loeb funded an expedition to dredge the ocean floor for fragments of this object, known as CNOS January 8, 2014. They found tiny metallic spherules with an isotopic composition unlike anything in our solar system. This proves that interstellar material is raining down on us constantly, and some of it might be technological debris. The Galileo project is now building a network of telescopes to catch the next interstellar visitor in real time. We won't be caught off guard again. The next time an Oumuamua appears, we will have the technology to launch a fast flyby mission to photograph it. Imagine the dopamine hit of that image. A pixelated shape resolving into a structure with straight lines and right angles. The truth is, the scientific community remains deeply divided. The nitrogen iceberg theory is slowly dying, but the dust bunny model hasn't convinced the artificial origin camp. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, and we simply don't have a high-resolution photograph. But the circumstantial evidence is piling up in the artificial column. Consider the final, chilling payoff to the Oumuamua mystery. If it was a piece of alien technology, it implies a galaxy teeming with dead civilizations. A functional probe would not tumble, it would break. Oumuamua might have been a derelict, a relic of a civilization that went extinct eons ago. This means the galaxy is a graveyard of lost technologies, and we just had a piece of the tombstone drift past our window. But there is a more optimistic, terrifying payoff. If it was a functional reconnaissance probe, the tumbling was a disguise. A tumbling object looks like a natural rock on a radar screen. By tumbling, it disarms our curiosity, it looks broken, so we don't sound the alarm. It scanned our inner solar system, got a gravity assist, and accelerated away with the data. It saw our satellites, our space stations, our nuclear signatures. And it left without saying hello because it was just a scout, mapping the neighborhood for something bigger. The official explanation remains a natural object, but the file is not closed. Part 2 covers the official explanation.